right, ready? Every day our nation is at war. There's an ever-growing threat of a terrorist attack on American soil, or even worse, a repeat of the horrific September 11th attacks. With these ever-present threats, Americans are more aware than ever before of the importance of national security, and some seem to question the use of all necessary and proper resources in finding and defeating the terrorist organizations which attempt to destroy American livelihood. The use of government-regulated torture has greatly aided in the capture of terror ringleaders and has led to the acquisition of vital information which has prevented attacks and saved lives, both civilian and military. According to Bruce Hoffman, the founding director of the Center for the Study of Terrorism and Political Violence, when dealing with such close-knit societies, only information can effectively counter terrorism. Yet to gather the most actionable and therefore effective information, brutal techniques may be necessary. Truly, more bombs and weapons are not the solution to defeating terrorism. The real weapon is to know who and where the terrorists are. To do this, regulated interrogation techniques, although sometimes intense, are often the only way to get information from these hardened and trained professional murderers. The CIA is responsible for carrying out many of the covert operations that the United States military is involved in. And according to Lefevre, these responsible covert operations are essential to our security and freedom and counteracting terrorism. Yet secret or undercover operations by the government have been criticized as destroyers of democracy by keeping actions from the very public which elected the government's officials. Yet would not the American people be in uproar if they were left unprotected from terrorist groups simply because there were some people who did not think the United States should be involved? Would not the citizens of America feel violated and misrepresented? It is the duty of the President and the American government to protect Americans against the threat posed by terrorist organizations. With that said, if gathering vital information is the key to this protection, should not the government be allowed to gather it using regulated techniques and be allowed the privacy to share only what the public needs to be informed of? After all, the government is taking these measures to protect its citizens. Another reason for the criticisms of the use of controlled torture techniques is that torturing an individual is morally corrupt and ethically wrong. While many people fail to realize that the words morally corrupt and wrong usually are spoken when a citizen hears of another suicide car bombing in Iraq, or of a news reporter who was taken hostage and then brutally executed. Covert operations abroad and intelligence gathering at home pose ethical problems for an open society. It is also a necessary evil that, when properly conducted, is morally defensible as long as the cause is just. Is not the protection of innocent citizens a just cause? In Bruce Hoffman's book, he reminds his reader of a friend whose name is Thomas, who deals with terrorists every day and admits that although it is difficult to understand, the only way to protect innocent victims is to terrorize the terrorists, in ways similar to how they terrorize society. Does Thomas ever think what he does is wrong? No. Like many interrogators, Thomas believes his use of modified techniques will provide information that will protect many innocent men, women, and children. In the end, it all comes down to one question. Do the ends justify the means? Thomas would surely say that information, which could save numerous innocent lives, should be gathered at all costs. Torture is a necessary evil that, when properly conducted, is morally defensible as long as the cause is just. The torture which we are suggesting be employed would, of course, be government-regulated and practiced in a controlled environment for the purpose of gaining information on groups or people who wish to harm America and its citizens. Yet there is no way to protect this country without having viable information. According to Philip Heyman, there are two ways to prevent a terrorist attack. Both involve only intelligence and knowledge. The first moves into the early identification of a few suspects to the identification of an indispensable core of participants in their plan. The second is from a detection of early terrorist plan to identification of a critical core of participants. Each of these techniques would greatly suffer if controlled torture techniques were banned, and in turn the essential intelligence which provides our liberties and freedoms that are hindered by terrorist groups would be difficult, if not impossible, to retrieve. When deciding what the right choice is for our country's safety, think about the families of the 5,000 September 11th victims. If you had a chance to gather information that would have prevented these attacks, would you have used all of your necessary resources, or would you rather stand in each family's living room and tell their husband, wife, and child, Mommy won't be coming home tonight? Stand ready for cross-examination.
You stated that the use of torture should only be used when the cause is just. What do you consider a just cause?
A just cause would be something that's going to be saving lives and keeping Americans' integrity intact. Because, I mean, America is looked upon as a world power and a world leader, and how can we justify losing our stability and losing thousands of citizen lives that are innocent and didn't do anything just because one group doesn't agree with our lifestyle or actions we've taken before?
Okay. When you stated about the reputation of America or something like that, how do you feel that torture does not give America that reputation?
The torture that we are implying should be used is not the kind of torture that Americans are every day subjected to in other countries. There are people that are missionaries in other countries and are just trying to spread their beliefs and ideas that are captured and killed and tortured in awful ways that have no government regulation and have no rules about them. And they have, the people that are in the other countries that are doing this torture have no means or justifications that they are harming their people. It is simply just because they don't have the same belief. On the other hand, when we torture terrorists, we have the belief, we have knowledge that they are involved in a terrorist operation that is going to harm our citizens and possibly kill thousands.